Everyone knows a full night's sleep means 8 hours, straight through, lights out until morning. But here's the strange part. For most of human history, that idea would have sounded absurd. The real question is why people used to sleep in two separate pieces, and why we forgot they ever did. And the answer may be much older than most people think. Imagine lying on a mat of woven reeds somewhere in a village lit only by embers. The fire has burned low. Around you, bodies shift under animal hides. Outside, the night is thick and total, the kind of darkness modern people almost never experience. There are no streetlights, no screens, no hum of electricity, just the sound of wind, and maybe something moving in the brush beyond the wall. In this world, night was long, depending on the season. It could stretch 14 hours or more, and that creates a problem most people never think about. What do you do with all that darkness? You might assume the answer is simple. You sleep through it, but that's not what the evidence suggests happened. To understand that, you have to picture something unusual. Somewhere in the middle of the night, in the deepest hours of darkness, people woke up. Not by accident, not from fear. It happened almost every night, like clockwork. They opened their eyes in the dark, fully alert, and stayed that way for an hour, sometimes two. And here's where things get weird. This wasn't insomnia. It was normal. Historians digging through old letters, court records, and medical texts kept finding strange references. People wrote about their first sleep and their second sleep as if everyone understood exactly what that meant. Awake periods sat between them, almost like a scheduled appointment with the night itself. So the real mystery isn't why people woke up. It's what they did once they were awake. Some prayed. Religious manuals from centuries past actually included prayers meant specifically for that middle of the night. Waking, treating it as a quiet, sacred window. Others talked, married couples, lying together in the dark with nowhere to be and nothing demanding their attention, used that time for conversation and for intimacy. Some interpreted dreams from their first sleep, believing the visions meant something. Others simply lay still, thinking, letting their minds wander in a way that daylight never allowed. Children were sometimes conceived during that hour. Plans were made. Secrets were shared. It was, in a strange sense, a second social life hidden inside the night. But this raises another question. Why would the human body evolve to do this? Wouldn't unbroken sleep be more efficient? This is where the story reaches further back, past written history, into the deep biological past our ancestors carried with them. Some researchers argue that this two-part sleep pattern wasn't a cultural invention at all. It may be the default setting of the human brain, something wired into us long before villages, before agriculture, before fire was ever tamed for the night. Picture early humans on the open savanna, without walls, without doors, without any real protection. Once the sun went down, predators moved at night. So did rival groups. A species that slept in one long, unbroken block, fully unconscious for 8 hours straight, would have been extraordinarily vulnerable. But a species that woke naturally in the middle of the night, alert enough to listen, to check the fire, to notice a sound in the dark, might have had an edge. That waking period could have functioned as a built-in watch shift, a moment of vigilance stitched directly into the sleep cycle itself, and that creates a new mystery. If this pattern was so useful, so deeply embedded, why did it disappear? The twist arrives with something most people never connect to. Sleep at all, light for nearly all of human existence. Night meant true darkness, broken only by firelight, moonlight, or the stars. The body's internal clock evolved around that rhythm, but starting a few centuries ago, something changed. Street lamps appeared in cities, then gas lighting, then electric bulbs that could turn night into something resembling day at the flick of a switch. Researchers who study sleep found something remarkable when they removed artificial light entirely. In experiments where participants lived for weeks without electric lighting, exposed only to natural darkness in the evening, something ancient resurfaced. Their sleep split apart on its own, first sleep, a waking period, then second sleep, appearing again after just days without modern light. In other words, the pattern hadn't vanished from human biology. It had been buried under a few generations of artificial brightness. So, every time you wake up at 3 in the morning, mind suddenly clear, unable to fall back asleep. No matter how hard you try, you might be experiencing something older than language itself. Not a malfunction, not a disorder, a memory written into your biology, one that modern life simply has no room for anymore. Every time you scroll through your phone in the dark instead of sleeping, you're fighting an ancient rhythm with a very new tool. The bulb above your bed may be modern. The urge to lie awake in the dark thinking is not. Consider what that middle of the night waking meant to the people who lived it. It wasn't wasted time. It was a private hour, hidden inside the night, where thoughts wandered freely and connections deepened without interruption. Now imagine how different that feels from the exhausted 3 a.m. wakefulness so many people dread today. Scrolling, checking the time, anxious about the hours ticking away before an alarm. Same biology, completely different meaning. The technology changed, the light changed, the clocks, the schedules, the demands of morning, all of it changed, but the body carrying you through the night may still be listening for a fire that burned out centuries ago. still waiting for that quiet hour it once knew so well. Maybe the next time you find yourself awake in the dark, unable to explain why, the answer isn't something wrong with you. Maybe it's something right, a signal from a much older version of being human, still trying to make itself heard, one restless night at a time.